Good morning, and call the Sunday session of the Maryland State Firemen Association Executive Committee meeting to order. Pastor John. Good morning, John.
Good morning. This morning's scripture comes from 1 Corinthians chapter 13. If I speak in the tongues of men or of angels, but do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have a faith that can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor and give over my body to hardship that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails, but where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part, but when completeness comes, what is in part disappears. When I was a child, I talked like a child, I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put away the ways of childhood behind me. For now we see only a reflection in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. And know these three remain, faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. I picked these verses today because February is the month of love. So on reflection of these verses, love is not in a hurry. Love's long-suffering or patience does not accept evil or adopt an attitude of resignation that becomes fatalistic. Love is not blind to abuse, sin, or ignorance, but knows now to speak the truth with a love that accomplishes God's purposes. Love does not naively accept suffering without finding out the lessons that God wants us to learn through our adversity. Love is not judgmental and rushing to criticize someone based upon our own set of assumptions or expectations. Love is kind. Love is considerate, benevolent, and gentle to people. Love is kind even to the unkind. Kindness freely accepts another and seeks the good regardless of what one can get in return. Kindness even dares to be weak by identifying with people in their pain, problems, and weaknesses. Kindness looks for a way to enhance, heal, and help people regardless of who they are. Kindness is not gushy, but is intelligent and tough when necessary. Kindness works with wisdom in the structure and justice and a fairness according to the given realities. Kindness encourages the faint-hearted, helps the weak, and is patient with everyone. Kindness looks for a way of being constructive in every situation. Kindness is gentle even to those who are harsh and unsympathetic. Kindness knows how to speak in healing voices, tones. Love is not jealous. Jealousy is a fear of losing someone or something. You know someone is jealous when they are afraid of losing their rights. A jealous person is suspicious of others for fear they may take away something important. Jealous people are intolerant of anyone who seems to be disloyal to one's supposed allegiances. A jealous person is watchful for anyone or anything that might be a rival. Love is not boastful or arrogant. Love does not demand its own way, its own rights, and its own cultural expectations. Love is not overbearing and proud. Love recognizes that if freely we have received from God, therefore freely we should give. Love does not look for ways to grab power, control, and authority. Love is not eager to advance one's position. Love does not lord one's power over people for the sake of demonstrating authority. Love is not obsessed with control. Love does not try to take good and try to impress others. Love is not rude. Love does not put people down in order to look good. Love is not too proud to admit one's shortcomings, deficiencies, or sins. Love is unselfish. Love seeks God's plans in order to accomplish all aspects of God's will. Love is willing to sacrifice one's right, desires, and human expectations for the sake of His kingdom and His righteousness. Love is an unselfish concern that freely seeks others' good. Love is the power that moves us to serve others regardless of whether they can reciprocate. Love resists the human tendency to seek everything that would be pleasing to one's individual desires. Love recognizes the emptiness of self-love without the love of Christ. Love goes beyond a self-centered perspective to appreciate the concerns of others and to empathize with their pain. Love is willing to deny one's selfish interest in carrying our cross. Love follows the footprints of Jesus. Love does not seek its own self. Love is not interested in building one's own kingdom and standards for righteousness. Love does not put selfish ambitions above the love towards God and one's neighbors. Love does not set up self-development as an idol. Love does not idolize success. Love does not try to take away individual freedom. Love does not expand its energies for one's own self-arrogance. Love does not denegate one's abilities, physical characteristics, or weakness. Love does not give in to depression when others encourage self-pity or feelings of victimization. Love does not try to accomplish God's will through human rules, regulations, and processes. Love is not so critical that a person despairs of trying to progress towards maturity. Love is not condemning of others' efforts to improve themselves in a way that the Holy Spirit leads. Love is not irritable. Love is not easily annoyed. Love is not overly sensitive. Love does not quickly take offense. Love does not return evil for evil. Love does not look for interpretations as a nuisance as much as an opportunity to serve. Love does not let little things irritate one's emotionally to a point of losing one's balanced perspective. Love does not let anger cloud one's sense of judgment. Love does not let anger control their reactions when they are tired, discouraged, or pressured. Love does not give in to the feelings of fear, threats, or intimidation. Love is not upset when a personal right seems to be taken away. Love does not act out of hostility or angry aggression. Love does not try to justify oneself in the eyes of others. Love does not let frustrations result in efforts to vindicate oneself. Love does not try to disguise its irritability with silence or pouting. Love is not resentful about something that could have gone out but didn't. Love does not let grumblers, complainers, or cynics turn one into a sullen person. Love is not incessantly pessimistic. Love does not let anger cloud the lens of perspectives. Love hates evil. Love hates sin while continuing to love the sinner. Love dislikes anything that happens to hurt people needlessly. Love equally abhors moral, social, physical, emotional, economic, and spiritual evil. Love recognizes that evil is caused by sin in the world, human sinful natures, and the devil. Love recognizes that a strong love for God is the best remedies for loving the world. Love recognizes that worshiping anything less than God is idolatry. Love recognizes that rejoicing in other people's sin is a subtle expression of self-righteousness. Love rejoices with the truth. Love rejoices when the truth is taught and expressed in a way that reflects the person of Jesus Christ. Love gives joy when truth is the determinator of people's decisions. Love celebrates whenever truth wins out over distortions of truth. Love recognizes truth as its favorable companion. Otherwise, it would merely become a warm, fuzzy affection. Love rejoices with truth because love widens the scope of truth's lens to include the whole person. Love favors truth because it keeps one honest and complete. Love rejoices in the truth because it gives one a balanced look. Love values truth because it supersedes all philosophies with the truth of God's word. Love values truth because it recognizes that in Christ's love dwells the secrets of all wisdom and knowledge. Love rejoices in truth because it can reflect more of the whole attributes of God, the Father of law, the Son of love, and the Holy Spirit of liberty. Love opens our minds to God's truth. Love bears all. Love knows no limit to its endurance. It perseveres under the most difficult of physical, emotional, and mental sufferings. Love is willing to be strong under pressures to give in to worldly standards or urgings from colleagues. Love carries the weight of people's burdens without feeling used. Love carries personal burdens without murmuring or complaining. Love is willing to help bear the pain of another. To many in the fire and EMS service, they are able to and willing to show love to strangers and withhold the same love from their loved ones. As we celebrate the month of love, take a minute to reflect on how you treat the gift God gave you, the one who waits at home praying that you return safely from the call you left for. Ask God to take away all your frustrations, anger, temper before you walk through the door. Show the same love to your brothers and sisters in the fire service. We are all one family, all God's family. Please join me in prayer. Almighty God, we thank you for this morning, Father. We thank you for those who are here today, Father. We ask for you to give the wisdom and knowledge you bestowed on us yesterday to conduct the business of the Maryland State Firemen Association for the betterment of the fire service. Father, please be with us and be with those who are not here today for health reasons. Father, we ask for healing for them. Father, watch after those who are responding on calls, protect them, and bring them home safely. We ask this all in Jesus' name. Amen.
Patty, you want to lead us? Thank you.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Patty. And good morning, everybody. This time we'll turn it over to President Smothers for opening comments.
Good morning. Everybody looks really good out here this morning, all dressed up. Before we get started here, I want to say thank you to the men and women of the Pocomoke City Volunteer Fire Company for a job well done. As you know, we were scheduled to be at Snow Hill, and because of some conflicts with that department, certainly wasn't their fault, but we were looking for a spot, and the men and women here offered their station, beautiful station. But as you see the men and women standing around the room, they've helped us the last couple of days, made us feel very welcome here. Provided our meals. I just want to say excellent job to the men and women of the department. We really appreciate you taking us in and helping us out and allowing us to have a meeting here in your station. I do, so let's give them a round of applause. And I'm going to embarrass one of them because he used to fly with me. Actually, he got me home a lot of evenings. And I was down here on the shore, and he's shaking his head. For those of us that were back in the old Bell Jet Ranger days, I was certainly the last medic that flew those. Some folks probably don't even remember what that aircraft was because they only remember the Dolphins and AW-139. But here's a guy that really has not only dedicated himself here to his fire department through the years, but did a lot for Maryland and flying around as a pilot. And I just want to recognize Stan Finch back there. So. But Noah is the president here. And I want to say on behalf of the Maryland State Firemen's Association and the Ladies Auxiliary, we really appreciate your hospitality and thank you for welcoming us and your willingness to allow us to have our meeting here. It's been great. The men and women here that, as I said, did an excellent job. So I want to present you and your station a certificate that hopefully you guys will hang in your station very proudly. But then I also want to give you a little check, and hopefully this will help you offset some of your costs this year. So don't give it to Stan, but but we want to say thank you, and thank you for allowing us to be here.
Absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'll just say real quick, thank you guys for coming here to utilize our beautiful station. I know you guys obviously had a conflict with Snow Hill, and we appreciate having you guys. And thank you for all you're doing for the state of Maryland. Thanks.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. President. Okay, we'll open up with the convention branch. We'll go through convention branch, and after all of the subcommittees report there, the next branch will be training and safety. So, convention team. While they're coming up, recognize Mike Faust. Good to see you, past President Mike. Was there any other past presidents came in this morning or guests? So, good to have you here, Mike. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Chairman, go right ahead.
So good morning, everybody. Again, good to see everybody and be able to provide a little bit of update on the convention. So first of all, we have done a lot of work to enhance the website. We're continuing to try to do as much as we can electronically with all the activities, reduce the amount of paper, but the website is current based on all the information we know as of this point. We are still doing a mail out. The secretary reported on that yesterday, and we did the letter that lays out the convention activities, and we do that as a fail-safe. Not everybody is reading the website, and there are those in the fire station that would still rather receive a letter in the mail, so we're going to mail to every station in the organization. Our exhibit packages are out, and I'm happy to say that the exhibits, our registrations are rolling in pretty steady. Kate will be reporting on that shortly. But we've seen a nice flow of people wanting to come back to the beach and exhibit at the convention center. So we are going to, Kate will report also about the exhibit hours and then the administrative stuff for the exhibits. As far as the educational programs go, Ken Bush is completing the main program presentations, and our educational subcommittee has sent out the RFPs for instructors to apply to teach at the beach, and a lot has been happening with those. I think Kate will talk about that as well. I think we're almost full with that. One of the things that we are talking about, last night we met with Jason Bloom from the OC Fools. We continue to get a large number of registrations for the hot training, but we have a huge no-show rate. As a matter of fact, one of the classes had one student show up when we had 25 registered. Obviously, I don't know if it was Teresa in the cork bar or secrets or what, but there's a great deal of expense put into that hands-on training, especially if we're at the junkyard. Thanks to Steve Cropper and his family for making that available, or some of the hotel facilities where we do strategy and tactics in the parking garage. And so most likely we are not going to offer hot training this year. We're going to try not for 1 year to see what kind of response we get. But we've had just a complete failure for people to show up. They sign up, but they don't show up. So we're going to explore possibly a partnership with OC Fools to do some hot training separate from the convention. See if that might entice some people and maybe create a stream to raise more awareness about MSFA. So we're looking at that as a possibility, but that is a major change for us this year. So Bill Hildebrand is working on the caucus rooms. That list will be out. That should be pretty much follow what we did last year. We rescheduled with Jolly Roger and the Inlet Boardwalk Amusement Park, so those family activities are all scheduled. And we continue to remind everybody, if you bring a trailer to Ocean City, you have to have a parking permit issued by the city. Fortunately, they give us 30 passes each year, and that is handled at the exhibit office. All you need to do is go down there and ask for one, and they'll give you the sticker. It's a pretty hefty fine if you're on a public roadway with a trailer without a sticker, parking it there, so you don't want to get caught with that issue. One of the new things that we've done this year is we had a variety of hotels reach out to us about possibly providing some blocks, and so what we did was we offered some of those reduced rates to our vendors. That was the biggest complaint we were getting from our exhibitors, is the weekend rate to be able to start their show on Sunday. And so we're going to try to help them reduce some of their costs, which then in turn provides more vendors that will possibly exhibit at the convention. The Grand Hotel will be the host hotel again. Contract's been signed, and they're offering some special rates. That information will be up on the website. John Denver is working with other hotels as well, so we'll get that information out. I know we owe that to the secretary for the mail out, all the hotels. We just signed a 2-year contract with the convention center, 2 more years there for 24 and 25, and I'm happy to say that they gave us the exact same rate as last year. So it didn't go. Now, if you haven't been to the convention center, they're doing a huge interior remodeling, new carpet, new paint, new wall decorations. It looks a lot different. Everything is in the light blues and ocean colors. They've got rid of the dark reds and the dark browns, and all the classrooms are getting new carpeting, new wall treatments. So they've really spruced it up. They've dumped a lot of money into that, so it looks pretty nice. I'm happy to report that last year's convention had a net profit of $42,000. That is the first time we've had that kind of a profit in a few years. Normally, we've had anywhere between $10,000 and $15,000 in profit, but I think some of that was the redesign of how we did the exhibitors to get more exhibitors in, and reducing some of the footprint outside, reduce some of our costs, so that worked out well. Reminder, all convention book reports are due now, if you can, over the next month or so, and send them to convention@msfa.org. So please get your reports in, all the committees, all the officers. We want to get that squared away. And we still are looking for ads for the convention book, and anybody that's interested in a sponsorship of the convention. We are going to do the first site visit of the convention committee on the Monday following St. Patrick's Day weekend. We will be going down for the parade, so anybody that's interested in partaking in St. Patrick's Day festivities in Ocean City will be down for the weekend, and then stay for a Monday morning walk through the convention center. So having said all that, I'll pass it to Kate for exhibits, and then we'll run through some of the other committees.
Good morning. So far, we have 30 vendors registered. That's booth and apparatus. So like Ron said, they are coming in at a steady stream. I think we're a little bit more ahead of the game than we were at this time last year. We do pick up by the end of March, and usually March and April are our largest submissions. So we'll keep everybody abreast of that. Sponsorships, program book ads, all of that have been updated on the website. The paper copies have been given to the secretary to be included in with the mail out. So all that information will be available to the departments. So we're hoping that the program book ads, since we have everything updated so early this year, that we'll see a good revenue on that. As far as education goes, we do have a full schedule again planned for this year. They will be Monday and Tuesday. We're not going to be hosting any classes on Sunday, with the exception of the EMT refresher. As far as we know now, according to Steve Cox, is that it's still going to be in person this year, even though I know Dr. Delbridge talked about the different variation of the EMT refresher that they're looking at. But I think for us, for this year, we're going to stick to in person over the weekend. if there's anybody that has, you know, an instructor that wants to get in, it's coming up to February 15th is the last day for RFPs. So we pretty much have the schedule set. I'm just giving them a couple, you know, 2 more weeks for anybody else that might be interested. Like Ron alluded to, the OC Fools will not be offering classes this year, but we're hoping to partner with them at a later date in the year to offer MSFA, like a hot weekend or something like that, that, you know, we can do. That will be specific to training. We won't have any of the, you know, distractions of things that why people don't show up at the convention. Do they register and then they don't show up? I think that was it for anything else that
I don't think so.
on my end. Yeah, I think that's it. So, yeah, we'll just keep plugging along, and if there's anything that you see on the website that needs to be updated or anything we may have missed or any information that you want included in the weekly report, please let me know. And I think that is all I have. Randy?
Just want to thank everybody that on the convention committee and their families that helped work the convention to make it a success. And want to thank all the member companies and that come out and support the work that we do to put the convention on and make it a success.
Questions from anybody?
The program book, do we have a team solid on that now?
Yes. So Jenny Wilhite has agreed to coordinate some of that along with our staff. And Bob, I think you were still helping with that. So we're under control. That's why we have the emails going to the convention at MSFA. That way they're going to one spot. We can keep track of them all. And that'll make it easier to transmit that to the program book committee.
Very good. Any questions? Mark? Two-year
contract. 24 and 25.
So Skip's off the hook.
Kate, I just got one question for Mr. Chairman. The other classes, not separate from the hot classes, how many classes are we doing during the week? Because I know some of those classes, we only had 1 or 2 folks show up for those, and you got instructors, and you know, I don't want to have a whole bunch of classes, and again, for those even, if people not showing up, that's unfair to the instructors, so.
Well, and that's the problem that we have is that people register. I mean, last year we had every single class had registrations, but when the time comes to actually sit in a seat. So I don't know how, I mean, we've talked about that a couple of times, like how do we solve that problem? Do we start charging a registration fee and then they get reimbursed when they show up? That didn't seem to work for the Fools. When Jason said last night that they did try to do that, they had nobody register for classes if they had to pay up front.
Yeah.
So it's really just, you know, we put the classes on. I mean, it's not optimal to, you know, put.
Well, I know Steve's shaking his head, and I understand that. I mean, that's, you know, we want to have a family-friendly environment, but we also want to have the educational component. And I get it. You know, for a lot of us as volunteers, that vacation week may be the only vacation week that you have for your family, and the offset. But
Right.
But we've reduced the number of classroom sessions.
Dramatically, yeah. I mean, we were doing Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon on all 3 days. Now we're only doing Monday, Tuesday, and in rooms 201 to 206, so that's 5
I know we're
classrooms.
doing our part to try to make sure.
Yes,
folks
and so there's
stay.
only going to be 1 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon on both of those days. So we have cut back dramatically. We offer, people are excited, people are sharing it all over social media, they're registering, and then the day comes. So, I mean, and that's why we're kind of doing this pilot program with the OC Fools to see if taking the education piece away from Ocean City and offering it at another time during the year in another location in
Okay.
Maryland might be helpful. So this way it's just a training weekend and they're not coming for anything else but training. So I think the OC Fools piece will help us gauge if that's going to be a direction we may need to go in for our regular education, but we're not quite there to make that decision yet.
Okay, I'm gonna help you do whatever, but just
It's just been continually decreasing in those that show up.
yeah.
Our registration numbers, registration numbers have been phenomenal, but they just don't want to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning for an 8 o'clock class.
I mean, the one good thing is our convention, you know, and the presidents can tell you that as we're traveling around the state and past presidents, our convention still is the largest one here around the East Coast here. So, you know, people are looking at what we're doing and how we do things, and which is positive. So that's a good thing. So, and some of the conventions that you go to, you wouldn't even fill half of this room. So.
And I will say, I mean, we do get the instructors that come in. We get instructors from all over, you know, the United States that come in. So we have a nice array of, you know, not instructors that they can just go, you know, in within Maryland and get. We try to bring people in that can bring a little bit of different criteria, different, you know, thoughts and programs to us. But the good thing is that when we do bring the instructors in, as much as we want to fill the classrooms, they're coming in, they're enjoying themselves, they like to come to our convention. So they don't see that it's a waste of their time, even though they might get 6 or 7 people. However, for us, that's not obviously what we want for them.
I'm okay
So
with that. I mean, as
they're
an
not
instructor,
complaining, but it's
well, if
all
I'm
in the
gonna
same
pay you
sense, it's
free
not
and,
good for us
to come
either.
visit me, and you know, I'd be happy with that too if I only had one student. But I mean, that's not what we're looking for.
No, it's
but-
not
No,
what we
no, no,
want,
that's
but
not the
yeah.
norm. That's not what we're trying to do. But
So-
like I say, I'm willing to help you do whatever, and
Okay.
I understand that, and you know, and you're up against vacation time and family and dad and mom time, you know, because it's always Father's Day weekend. That's the other caveat, you know. It's
Yeah, which
always
is
been
why we
Father's
took-
Day
we took
weekend,
classes
and I
off
don't
a
care where
Sunday
I
at
go.
all.
It's always been, our convention's always been that time, and we've made that change too for Sunday, so.
But what I
people
have to,
time with
what I have to
grandchildren.
add is that I truly believe, and we're doing it slowly, but it's probably time to reinvent the convention. We've taken the banquet away because people didn't want to come in and be rushed on Sunday, so
Yep.
we moved that to earlier. We're going to reduce the number of classes. And I'll be honest, you know, we still continue to hear the two major issues is parking and hotel costs.
Yep.
It's expensive for a family to come to the beach, and oftentimes those that do, from our membership, it's their family vacation.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
So they got to compete with Old Pro Golf or coming to class, you know, take the family and kids and go out and do something. So it's a struggle. It is. And then when you're paying, you know, like some of the hotels are $300 a night now, $400 a night, and the average person just can't fathom that.
I
Okay.
understand that.
Do we still have any of the PDI classes for instructors? I know when I was an instructor, I always did it. We're still doing some PDIs.
yeah, we're just waiting for them to be
Okay,
announced,
I know,
yeah.
that's always a plus. I know, I used to
Well,
do
it
it
is,
all the
and
time.
it's something that's mandatory that they need to get that
Right,
credit. So
that's why I say,
that
I
helps
always used
boost
to
the
take mine
numbers.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to.
And just to comment on that, even though it's a requirement, we have to register and not check it.
Yeah.
It's across the board. That's why I was shaking my head.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the answer is, but we're trying to, as the convention committee, we're trying to think through that and redesign things.
Well, we
And
appreciate
it may
it.
change that, and, you know, we're gonna reduce the exhibit hours a little bit. That helps our vendors a little bit, be a little bit more happy, because they're paying, you know, pretty significant bucks to pay for this convention. And you look at even the convention center floor, you know, in the mornings, it's nice, but by mid-afternoon,
Yep.
you know, if there's 50 people in there, and that's what they remember. They don't remember the 500 that were there that morning, they remember the 50 in the afternoon.
And that's one of the pieces that I forgot to mention was that we're shaving Monday and Tuesday by 1 hour. So it'll be 9 to 3 on Monday, 9 to 2 on Tuesday. So those will be the new exhibit hours. Sunday will stay the same because it's only 11 to 3 on Sunday anyway, so.
Okay, past President Faust.
Thanks.
I just had maybe a silly question, because I know some of the MIFRE classes are tied back to training for Maryland, but we have a great partnership with the folks from Delaware. Have we ever thought about opening up some of the other classes that might benefit the folks from Delaware? I know Sussex County, Delaware is not exactly the richest county in the state, and they may be able to benefit from some of the training if we have open spots for some classes that might interest them. So just a thought.
We have. We've had people from Pennsylvania travel to our convention. We've had people from Delaware that travel. And actually, they're some of the ones that continue to show up at the classes, not the Maryland students. It's got, as you said, it's got a reputation of a pretty, I think we're probably the largest all-volunteer convention left,
Yep.
probably in the country, to be honest.
It's pretty dynamic, but I just want to say thank you to the convention committee and still trying to work it and making it work for everybody.
we're open for ideas. It's just, we've got to, compete with the economics, and it's tough.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you all. And Mike?
There you go, Mike.
I've asked some young people what would make it work, and you hear everything, but my issue is we're paying, Doyle's sending out registration by mail to everybody. Why don't we put an extra sheet on the back of the sheet, interview your young people, interview your older people, and ask them what they want? We might get some feedback that would help the chairman here. And you guys are thinking money and you're thinking logistics of it, but it might be that a few bullet points come from it, that it could improve your turnout, which is the ultimate thing we're talking about, is bringing people to the convention. But you might have some ideas that come out from Montgomery County or Allegheny County we haven't even thought about.
Yeah, I think have been doing it, and I think we will continue to do it. I think we've been doing that, yeah.
Convention survey each
Yeah,
year.
thank you, Mike, and we will continue to do that, that's
Ask
correct.
them to interview their people. What do you want at our convention? And let them.
They want to do the classes at the Park Bar. We've
Oh,
heard that.
well, that could be true. That might draw them. You don't know.
Thank you, Mike. Any other questions or comments? Mr. Vice President?
In reference to the training, the fools had a lot of instructors. These are the same instructors that in April people are paying buku dollars, FDIC, and they won't come, in their own backyard to do it. So it's not anything that these people are doing, or the reverse, not doing, that's causing the failure to show up for the class. It's pretty hard to compete against sun, sand, the fishtails, and whatever Teresa's favorite place is, Cart Bar. It's hard to compete against that. And I don't know what you, speaking from the fool side, because I was a director there for a good many years. What? Are you making fun of me again? Seriously, it's nationwide. It's happening in FDIC too. Why? You guys are doing a heck of a job, and you're trying every way in the world. And it sounds like we're beating you down because we can't have the turnout for the classes. People do things because they want to do things, and they do things because they don't want to do them. And they can use any excuse in the book to give you all, oh, it's too early, it's too late, it's too many, it's all of this. You guys are doing the right thing. You're doing a heck of a job, and it's just people.
Well, we had a discussion last night talking about, the OC Fools having like a post-conference or, the hot weekend or whatever, and it would be tied to MSFA. It's still going to be part of our convention, just not in that same time frame. So we were talking about when the Chiefs have their training in December in Ocean City, it's pretty well attended. And so they're not coming down for the beach. They're not coming down for the sun and sand because, it's 40-degree water. They're not going swimming. They're not going to be out,
Too cold,
so yeah, it's too cold. But they're showing up and they're doing this training. So that's why we're looking at doing a training piece, maybe apart and separate from the being in Ocean City.
It possibly could
We'll look
work.
at something.
It's worth a try, but I just wanted to say, you guys are doing everything you can possibly do, and you're trying and you're looking. And maybe we'll hit on something that'll work real good and we can sell it to everybody else.
Thanks, Skip.
Thank you.
We're not proposing to move the convention in November, okay? Let me say that right off the bat.
At least not next year.
Exactly.
That's
Do it in
right.
Charlie's time.
It's in Ocean City next
Vote
year.
him off the island for that.
They're very good. But I have to say, we're trying to figure out, the first year we did Jolly Roger, right, as a family event, we had almost 2,000 people there. It was packed, and it's continually been good, but last year, we were down to 1,000. And so it's gotten old. So we're trying to figure out what we could do to boost something new, and it's just that we're stuck with what the choices are at the beach. We'll figure it out, but the training piece, it's getting the people into the seats. And we're going to try something different. So.
And we appreciate everything the convention committee does, and when it really comes down to it, we're all a part of that committee. So we're here to support.
We'll take any ideas, suggestions, criticisms, or help you can give us.
Absolutely. Any other questions? Thank the team for all their hard work. Fire Prevention and Safety Branch.
Morning. The report from the Sprinkler Committee is going to be short and sweet. The lease has run out and we're being evicted. That's pretty much it. I've been asking now for almost 2 years to give me a hand trying to find some place. I've had one person actually respond, hey, I might have a place for you. Thank you very much, Chairman. I appreciate that. Other than that, I have nothing to report. Thank you. It's your turn.
Thank you. For the record, my name is Teresa Ann Chrisman, and yes, I do go to the Cork Bar. Thank you very much.
50% interest?
And I do go to the December training, and like Kate says, it is a very well-attended training, and I go for the training, and yes, it's at the ocean and everything, but I do feel like that's a very well-done program. So if that's an opportunity, I think people would actually do something like that, so it's a good idea. My report, I'm resubmitting it back to you all again. I had some updates because I was waiting for some information to get to me, but Kim's still working on our part. But from the committee, our fire prevention message for this executive meeting is a Valentine's. So you all got Valentine's from the Fire Prevention Committee. Thank you. And we just want to make sure that you understand that this is a requirement of our committee that we have to bring a display to each executive meeting. And when Cindy asked me what we were going to do, I'm like, I got the perfect idea. Gnomes. So I continue my theme from Christmas to Valentine's Day. So April will be spring cleaning, so you don't know what's going to happen there. So at our last meeting, we had a special guest. Her name was Kimberly O'Malley Robinson. She's from the Delaware Fire School. And Kim and I work very closely at the national level, and we were talking, and I was like, so what are you doing for your state? What are we doing for our state? So back and forth, we were able to, she brought some good programs to us, which some of us are already using, and then she updated some things for me. And so she's going to give me a link list so that we can share that later. But what's unique about this is all free. Like, I am that person that has to do fire prevention on a $1.98 budget. I think all fire departments have a $1.98 budget. And ultimately, there's so many programs out there that teachers have created, and then we've had people come and speak for us about programs that are out there, various ways to utilize online platforms for the students, because some students are still virtual. Some students didn't go back into place. We do know that. My sister's a teacher in Prince George's County, and she said that some of the classes, they actually did better in a online platform. So just finding ways, the teachers created different programs. So some of them is like called Kahoot. It's an online program where you can build your own slides. And then actually NFPA uses that for the Sparky's Firehouse, the website dog for them, so that they have online learning tools for fire prevention. So we'll get that back out, and then once Kim gives me her link list, I'll send it to Kate so she can attach it to the Friday report, because it's really great program and resource and tools. She's also working on a senior program also for older aging and in place. That's a big thing right now. A lot of people do not want to go. What's very sad is insurances. If you go into assisted living facility, and let's say you go into a 55 and older community, as they say, I'm 56, so I guess I could go live there. But some of these older places, they're taking your Medicaid and Medicare, and you're pretty much, I would call bankrupt at the end of your life, because there's no quality of life. So a lot of families are opting to stay home. They're redesigning their homes, reestablishing better points of entry for them because of maybe the use of a walker or a wheelchair. It's just various programs that are out there. So she tapped into a program that she's doing for seniors, and then a lot of us in the state already are trained in SEPS, the safety, which used to be called Remembering When, which is the falls injury prevention that the NFPA created. Well, we're trying to work on bringing that program back to the state. NFPA has money for us, a training set aside. It's an 8-hour program. We were going to do it back in August, but the person that we were working with, NFPA, their family members were getting sick, so it kind of like got off kilter, so we weren't able to do it. So we still have an opportunity to bring that program, so we're working on that too. From the fire marshal's aspect, I don't know, I could not hear Jason's report because I was dealing with something, but I don't think he brought it up, but we did apply for $250,000 carbon monoxide poisoning prevention grant program that will assist the state with carbon monoxide alarms. And it's the alarm that we worked with KIDA, Knoxbox, that actually has the English and Spanish speaking CO meter. So we'll have that. Also, this grant is, there's a core group of us that are working in various levels of this grant. And myself and Joe Walters have been assigned to the fire and emergency side of the grant. And John Tippett is our core person that's in charge of us, keeps us on track from the NFF. And the thing is, every state's going to have the opportunity to apply, but in a unique way that we're doing it here also, we're including maritime, because when I was talking to a friend of mine who he got his captain's license, I said, hey, what kind of boat do you have? And he goes, well, I have an open boat. I said, well, what does that mean? He goes, it has nothing, it's all open, so there's no canopy or anything. And he's actually thinking about getting a bigger boat so that he can carry more passengers and charter fish and stuff. And then that would have a canopy and then a place for people to rest. And that would be below the, I guess, I don't know what's the below part of the deck? The galley, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a bar person, but so a bar, yeah. So yeah. So my biggest concern was, hey, are y'all required to have carbon monoxide or smoke alarms? He goes, smoke alarms, yeah, for certain boats, but not a carbon monoxide alarm. I said, well, how many times do you think you left somewhere and you said, hey, I have a headache, but it's really your generator that's pumping the CO back into that enclosed area, and you go home and now you don't feel like you have a headache anymore. So we got to talking, and we actually met the executive director of the United States Yachting Association, and I was talking to her online, and then we actually called each other, and she goes, that is a unique position. And so she goes, do you have any information? So I sent her the state's tip sheet on carbon monoxide. So she sent it to 10,000 yachting people, because they have sleeping quarters, but they're not required to have a carbon monoxide alarm. So they have boat shows around the state of Maryland, and we're going to work out going to the different boat shows to do a fire prevention, life safety, and carbon monoxide awareness table at those shows, and hopefully be able to, talk to them about doing that. And then the carbon monoxide, we'll break them down. I don't know exactly how many we'll get so far from that, but we're working on waiting to find out if we get it. But what is also unique is this is a 25% match, because it's the Consumer Product Safety Commission put this out. And usually for a Fire Act grant, it's like 10 or 5% match. Well, this one's 25, and they said they can write their own rules. I'm like, okay. Well, how about this? Can I give you my time? Because I need that $250,000. And so we were able to work out our time, our mileage, and all that other stuff. Well, all the things that we do across the state, that's our 25% match. So we're not going to have to come up with any money. So it's a pure $250,000. So we're very excited for that. I don't know when they're announcing it. They just closed a couple of weeks ago, so we'll be waiting to find out.
Okay, and there was just a major marina fire in downtown Baltimore.
Yeah.
And it was occupied.
Yeah.
The guy lived in it, so certainly that's very prevalent. Mike?
Yeah, Teresa, I don't know if have you looked into Boat US?
Yeah, that's who, I've also talked to her too.
You have? Okay.
Oh,
is
yeah,
that
I've
you?
talked to everybody.
Yeah, I used to be affiliated with that group a long time ago, and they're the ones that do the towboats and stuff
Yep.
out in the bay. So,
Yep.
yeah, that's great. I think it's fantastic.
Yep.
Thanks.
She's actually the one helping us with the, they have boat shows, and then the yachting people have boat shows. So we talked to both groups to get us, so there's also a cost to sit at a table, but they said that they would waive it because of what we're trying to do.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. That organization, like I've known them for 25 years, and they're just a great group of people to work with. So I'm glad you're connected with them. Thank you. And
Yep.
they're local too. They're
Yep.
around DC.
Yep. Community Risk Reduction Week, it was January 15th to the 22nd. It was about enforcement. We did low-key approaches on this because of what's going on with legislation right now. We were told to kind of, like, from the MSP aspect, kind of like, don't push the enforcement aspect, because right now, as you know, a child cannot be charged with arson. They used to at a certain age, and now we're not allowed to do that at all. And that's another topic I'll talk about in a few minutes, but we see a huge increase in children being brought to us, youth, for fire setting issues. So that's being researched. And then next is the youth fire setting program. So myself, firefighter from Howard County and Anne Arundel County, we all met, and we used to have the program when Bruce was the PIO for the fire marshal's office, and we brought everybody back to the table. Because of the influx of the amount of kids that we have one 8-year-old that set an apartment fire, and he knew exactly what he was doing, so he ensured that the exits were blocked. So he's in detention, but there's no charges that are allowed to be applied to him. So we're waiting to find out what the state's going to allow them to do. Because of this, we have a lot of people from the court systems are reaching back out to us, and we're working together as when a county has a problem, and if they don't have someone there, we jump in and help them. And then our next meeting is March 7th at MIFRI. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. So that's our biggest thing. Now the crime bill, if you read it, they did not put arson back in there. So MSP is asking that question. So we'll find out what's going to happen, because they completely stripped all of that out of there. And then the exchange program that Ashley is working on right now, she's going to be working with Jim Resnick, and she's going to take all of the data we've ever collected about the hard of hearing visual alarms, smoke alarms that we have in the state, and we're remapping everything. So we want a good map process to show where we have these things. So it'll be a certain color for the older alarms, and then the newer alarms that we're using for the Omni Shields. We'll be able to showcase that. Plus, we can send that back to Chris Roberts, who runs that company, so he can show his investors what's happening with these alarms.
I would suggest, if he already hasn't, to contact MSD in Frederick, because as you know, that was one of the areas we first started because of the School for the Deaf, and that's where we probably have a large amount, particularly the initial alarms are probably still out there. So if you need a contact, let me know, but I think it'd be a good idea to definitely concentrate in Frederick also, because I know there's a lot of distribution in that
So
area.
we have Peggy Webb's original documents,
Okay.
where all that went. So it's never been automated, and
Yep.
that's what Jim is trying to do, and Ashley has the opportunity to do that. So that's her next project for the internship.
Well, I see her all the time, so if she
Yep.
needs anything, tell her, let me know. I'll
Yeah.
get her
No, this-
MSD.
Ashley Polson, not
Oh, I'm
Ashley.
sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
Different Ashley. I got a couple of Ashleys. So we're, Ashley's been a godsend. Just like the other interns, she's done a great job. And she's like, all right, well, we have no heat in Pikesville right now. And I feel bad, because I'm like, well, stay home, do this. And then she gets it done really fast. I'm going, I got to find something else for you. And then Jim's like, I got something. I'm like, there you go. So they're going to meet and go over everything and just get it done, because we've never had an online mapping segment for this. Cindy did submit her report for Safe Kids. We are working on the ideas for convention. And then our next Safe Kids meeting is in March. It's the second Wednesday, I'm sorry. From the FABSCOM aspect, again, as everybody knows, we have the Omni Shields. I did speak in Florida, and I talked about our program, and I'm still amazed that a lot of people are not embracing the aspect of having a carbon monoxide alarm, and we're pretty much one of the only states that are doing this. So hopefully that'll drive more people to do the aspect, because if you think about it, OmniShield gives you the bed shaker, 2 smoke alarms, and a CO alarm if you have a carbon-based product in the house. If you don't, and you don't have an attached garage, you get 3 smoke alarms and then the bed shaker. I do know that the other bed shakers are still having problems, and I don't know why they're not recalling them at all. There is no real recalls other than they find a way to give you a new power cord, and that's about it. So they're still malfunctioning. I get people calling me all the time, well, you installed it, I don't work there no more. Here's another number you gotta call, but it's crazy. I met with Lori before, she and Bridget, for the ambassadors program. We did talk to Bill about getting the rooms available for us for Ocean City. The application process, I waited for them to look at something. I'll get on them to give us, we have a couple of new questions, so what I'll probably do is send it to the executive board, and if you have an opportunity when you all have your meetings. We want to change one of the components, one of the questions, take some of the older ones out, and we want to add technology questions in there, especially like the carbon monoxide alarm issues, and then also we want to talk about the EV issues that are out there. So this is all about education, and the more we give these kids the opportunity to understand and learn, that's what we're trying to do. So we're not trying to like hinder them on a question, but it's like, hey, there's things that they need to know, and like everybody needs to know. So even I can get the questions wrong. So the national program updates for the NFPA. Sad news that Andrea Geelan, who used to be the executive director of fire prevention for the NFPA, she has decided to retire. She was our go-to for everything. She's been traveling back and forth from Massachusetts to Florida because her parents have been ill, and they suffered some medical issues where she's going to be retiring and moving to Florida to help them out more. But before she left, she gave us a whole bunch of new stuff, and hopefully we'll be able to get the steps to safety. She has talked to our state representative. Well, he's not, he's like the person that we all oversee from the 5 states that he deals with. And so we're working with Timmy Delahaney before he retires, but he had already said that he would make sure that the classroom would be available, because the Steps to Safety is an 8-hour program. And there's many of us that have it, and so I was going to ask MIFRE to pull that list to find out if they can even do that, to find out who has the Remembering When program training, because it was done first in the state of Maryland, and then you could either go to Massachusetts, and they brought it down, because I got it here in Maryland. I didn't go to Boston for it. So we're going to figure out who has it, and then, bring everybody back and say, hey, this is the refresh, and that's now called Steps to Safety from Remembering When. And then Vision 2020, the Symposium 8 is at the end of February. Myself and Joe Walters will be traveling there, and we have 2 opportunities to learn some information, one from the American Red Cross, and then there's another thing that they're doing. It's a smoke alarm program, so I'm going to send the link to you guys so you can actually see it. The map technically is not live, but it's alive for us so that we can see it and interact with it. But it shows you, if you typed in your zip code or you scanned into your city, you could actually see how bad they think or predict your location can be. Yeah, so like Baltimore City, it's a hot red. Coming down here, I looked at Pocomoke, it's a pale pink. So it just gives you an idea. And then from this map, they're also supposed to be able to themselves, when they do their Red Cross programs with the smoke alarms, map out where they put all their smoke alarms. I had asked, I said, what about ours? If we go out and we install, we do this. And they said they're thinking about that opportunity. They still want to muddy the waters. So it's more about that. They got a $750,000 grant from Fire Act grants again. And during COVID, they really thought about what did they need to do to make this program stronger. They did talk to a couple of us. I do know that a long time ago, some parts of the state had a hard time getting with the Red Cross. They didn't want to have us install smoke alarms with them until they got caught having all that money and they still hadn't done anything. And then like a door opened up. I do know that in the metro areas, it was easy to get Red Cross support, but then you go back into certain parts of the state, they didn't want to be around anything. So that's been a big issue. So what they did is, it's called Sound the Alarm, Save a Life, and they asked about creating an escape plan and practicing your 2-minute drill, because they really think you really only have 2 minutes to get out of the homes and then to test the smoke alarms. So on Monday, on the 19th, I'll be sitting in a meeting with them, and they're going to show us more of how they want the state to interact with this map. And they do know that they're at fault for not being more supportive. And they've had a lot of change, and hopefully moving forward, this will help them. So hopefully we'll find out more and we'll let you know. And then I linked the map into the report, but I'll make sure that you all see it again. And then there's some data that you can download from the U.S. Census and the American Red Cross and the National Fire Incident Reporting System. I do know that's a hot topic that everybody's talking about right now, but they'll tell us more about that too. We have a sunrise meeting with them about nearest there is the next steps for community risk reduction efforts in that program. Because Dr. Laurie does know that, right now, if you look at the USFA's website, it has 2021 data on it. Where's 2022 and 2023? Nowhere, because it takes them so long to capsulate everything. But I honestly don't know if they're actively working on stuff because they're so going this steadfast, but who knows? They still got to capture it somehow, but I don't know if it's just them doing it or they got FSRI handling that part of the program. I'm not sure, but we'll find out more. Steve Kerber is supposed to be at Murfreesboro, and he's supposed to be one of the people talking about this, because they asked us a slew of questions a couple of weeks ago, what we felt like we should see in these programs to help us understand. And I said, well, real-time data is very important. I do know that, if you're going to a meeting, you'd be able to pull up nearest and say, okay, we've had this many calls, we had this many incidents. That's the type of stuff you should be able to tell your community, not trying to say, well, let me get back to you tomorrow. And this is what this project is doing. It's giving you the opportunity in your pocket to look at what's going on in your community, and then let your community, especially your community leaders, understand why it's so important. Like funding could be a lot of things. And once they see, I think sometimes if they see the situation, then they know they got to fix it. So I think this is going to open some people's eyes. I don't think some people are going to like what they see, but the truth hurts, and sometimes that's how it makes a change. So we'll find out what's happening. And then our next meeting is the Fire and Life Safety Seminar. That's March 23rd at MEFRI headquarters. We have that went out to everybody. Kate's put it out for us. We've put it out all over the world. So we just want to make sure you guys can attend if you can. We get lunch provided to us from Cindy's funds through the Highway Administration. And then May 19th is the level. At level, we'll have the joint meeting, and then the ambassadors come to the May meeting to work out things. But other than that, that's my report.
That's a lot. Thank you, Teresa. Anything else under fire prevention for the committee? Any other questions from the executive committee? Thank you all for your hard work. Okay, Teresa, while you're there, do you have anything on the health and wellness committee?
Thanks. I do have Susan's report with me. Let me pull that up real quick. She apologizes that she couldn't be here today. President Smothers, executive committee members, officers, members of the MSFA and LAMSFA. Our gift card program, where any fire personnel or members of immediate family who have received cancer diagnosis or undergoing cancer treatment can receive a $100 gift card from the Royal Farms, Wawa, or Sheetz. A person can receive it up to 3 times a year. I have the cards back at my table. I'll bring them up. We have 3 that we're issuing, and the thing is to give it to the executive member, and then they can give it to them. That's what I guess was agreed upon before. So Cindy has been busy with social media. She keeps up the Facebook page. January is about Firefighter Cancer Awareness and Prevention Month. And then she says, please check our Facebook page for tips and information. The walk is April 28th. It is a Sunday afternoon. We are not waking up at the crack of dawn. We are doing this in a twofold approach. The first off is the cancer walk will support the cancer committee, the MSFA and LMSFA cancer committee. And then Stan and Joe's is a restaurant. Sounds like a theme here, Teresa, but there's a restaurant, it's a bar on West Street in Annapolis, but his wife was just recently diagnosed with cancer, and Ronnie's nephew, Tony Clark, is very good friends with Stan. And he was talking about, you know, hey, what can we do for you? And then he's like, well, what can I do for the fire service? And then I was telling Tony, I said, I would really like to do something to, you know, get back to the memorial, because you know we do so much with the memorial. And so he's offered his restaurant, and he has a huge parking lot on the side, and he's going to have a band there that night. And he is offering 10% of sales from that day to go to the Maryland Fire and Rescue Memorial Foundation. So the walkers and the registration and everything will happen there for that, and then we'll be able to give back to the memorial in a different way that we've never been able to do. So that's why we chose the afternoon. A long time ago, the committee denoted that this was to be the weekend of the memorial. The walk for the cancer. We do know the day before is the ladies' meeting, but that is what it is. At least we didn't make it 6 o'clock in the morning, so that'd be a rush for everybody to get around. But we're looking forward to that event, and we hope that that prospers to an ongoing way to being able to support both causes. I did meet with the city. I have to do a permit process, even though we technically own the land that we're doing this stuff from. But since the construction is still going on downtown, she asked us not to shut the road down. She goes, you can shut the road down for this event, or you can shut the road down for June. I'm like, I'll take the June event. Because the bus drivers have a hell of a time trying to get around everything. And I get it, I understand, you know, traffic does get impacted because the first Sunday of every month, they completely shut West Street down. So that's like their whole different thing. So it's a big impact in that area. So we'll able to get out there and do that. But I am happy to do this. It's going to be a lot of fun. This year, instead of t-shirts, because like everybody's like, get something different, the craze is those 40-ounce tumbler things. Mike's been able to get us a good price on a tumbler, and everybody can say that they have a fake Stanley. I don't know. We could actually get fake Stanley stickers. But I think that's an opportunity, and a lot of people have already said to step up and support the program. And then also for the peer support, the committees are working actively on this. And we all attended I did not know this, we were going to Bel Air for a training, and then it became yoga. And I'm like, I'd like to see some of these people on, it was really funny to see the police officers on the floor. That was epic. But we were at the Armory, and it was really well attended. She had 2 times, morning class and then the afternoon class. And it was really well attended. So we'll get that information out to everybody. But she would be a good speaker, Kate. She was really engaging. I'm like, I don't know where we would put her at, but I don't know if she's from Dorchester County, and she was very impactful. She was a good speaker. So we all got that, so it was pretty cool. But the committee is actively working on different programs and stuff, so if you need us, we're out there for you.
Thank you, Teresa. Any other questions? Thank you very much. Okay, awards branch, Doyle, Worlds Committee, Lee.
Testing 1, 2. Okay. Reference to the awards. As I indicated yesterday in my report, the package will be going out later on this month and has all the information on the awards in there along with the other information relating to the convention. The Firefighter of the Year, I think I've got a little bit of work to do there for is getting the form on the online, so I'll get that taken care of this week. The other thing I have is the 50-year service pin. Over the last couple months and so on, or last year, we've been promoting this for as get the name of the individuals to us for as the number of years, nominate them for the Gates Award, and so on. After doing some further research on this and talking to the Budget Committee, I'm going to recommend that we only present the badge along with a certificate. They would not receive the 50-year Mulberry Gates plaque. And the reason this is cost. You know, if we did the plaque, and it's a very possible that we're looking at probably somewhere in the neighborhood about $40,000. So, and basically and I think what everybody is looking for is just the 50-year pin. We have those. Those will be given out. I've got a stack here in front of me, 151 names from Baltimore County. So, I guess, Mr. Chairman, Mr. President, I would recommend, after consulting with the Budget Committee, I would recommend that we follow this procedure for is only presenting the 50-year pin along with a certificate.
Mr. President.
That is not taking anything away from the nomination of the Mulberry Gates Award.
Comment, Mr. President?
I think based on the cost, that's probably a reasonable expectation, and because I know a lot of folks are looking for the pin, and a lot of folks are putting that on their Class A's. I think we just need to, we're going to do that instead of seeing pins all over the place. We really need to kind of designate where that should be if you're going to wear a Class A, like in your right breast pocket or somewhere, so that we're consistent and we don't see that all over the place. I mean, they can do whatever they want with it, but if they're going to wear it on their uniform, we need to be consistent with that.
I'll agree with you on one aspect, but on the other, I think it's up to the individual departments as to where anything on the uniform will be worn.
Yeah, we'll provide the pin. They'll take it from here. Mr. Brooks.
Thank you. Good morning. This concept came from Hartford Cecil, and past President Cox and I marshaled this through on behalf of Chief Lay from Joppa Magnolia, who got the first one, by the way, and we finally got him well enough to give it to him. But I don't see a connection here between the Mulberry Gates and the 50-year pin, because many of our members do not rise to the level of Mulberry Gates nomination, but yet have 50 years of dedicated service to their fire company or their local association, right? And that one should not be tied to the other and then discount them on those statistics. So I think the mechanism from the member companies to the association, to the secretary, like you got there, I'm thrilled to see that. I'm waiting for a letter from home with 5 of us from one company to do that. And so far, all I see from this is pride, right? Something that's never been there. It's more than just a wreath. It's prominent, it's well-designed, thank you. It's well-designed, and people are looking forward to it. And they don't have to go through a rigmarole, right, to be recognized. Bad term. But.
So I understand that the pins would be available for anyone in the Maryland Fire Service with 50 years plus of service, whether they are into the Marbury Gates Award or not. So it's two totally different issues that we're talking about.
I think so.
Very good.
I think so.
Okay.
Yes, that's what
They are separated. So we're looking, okay, I'll get Mr. Faust here in a minute. So we're looking at the issue of doing the individual pins. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we're looking at the individual pins, and then our next discussion or point will be, do we do the plaques? Is that correct? Okay, so we'll move forward from there. Mr. Faust.
No, I think it's fantastic. I think it's a great thing that we're doing to recognize the members. One suggestion I have is I agree we should not, in my opinion, not do the plaques, but perhaps we could come up with a template that we could give to the various companies if they want to get a plaque for their member. So it looks uniform, that they can give to whoever their award people are in their community, so they can present that to their members if they so choose. Well, I'm just saying, but if they want to get, if we have a template where they could give it to their award people that they want to get a plaque made, that way if they do decide to get one, it looks and feels like it's part of this award. But I think it's fantastic. Thank you guys for doing that.
Okay, I understand what's going on here, but to get the 50-year plaque right now, or a 50-year pin right now, you have to complete the Marbury Gate nomination. That's what we was told before. So maybe we need to have a process just for the pin, and then the process for the Marbury Gates, and continue maybe with the plaques for the Marbury Gates, because on an average, we have 40 or 50 nominations for the Marbury Gates, but for this 50-year pin, you're going to have 100 or 150 the first couple of years until everybody catches up to speed. Because like I told you the other day, I got 53 or 4 from Ocean City. We haven't done the paperwork on yet, but you know, they're not putting them in for the Marbury Gates. They're putting them in for the 50-year pin. Thank you.
You have comments, Steve?
I think Richard expressed it when Bill Lay brought that forward and we brought it to this committee. The intent was it would be separate. It would be a pin to recognize anyone. Just submit the list to the awards committee, and there's really no validation or anything. We're at the honesty of the company that they don't put somebody in unless they deserve 50 years. With that, they get the pin, they get the certificate, and that's it. And it's totally separate from the Marbury Gates. If they want to submit somebody for Marbury Gates, then they reach for that criteria.
Okay, so we got two issues that we will address. One is the pins, separate and distinct, and the second will be Marbury Gates. So we need to take action on 50-year pins, or is that something already done?
We took action on the pins last year that we would do the pins.
Okay, so that's already in there.
That's already done.
So this is just in process. Okay.
I think the awards committee, they were investigating, is there something else we should do in addition to the pin?
Okay.
And Doyle and I met this morning, and when he hit me with 500 people at $80 a plaque, and I, real fast, I did do that math at $40,000, and I said, budget committee says no.
And it became red letters, right? So I get it.
Giant red letters.
Okay. So we have a process. We are proceeding with the pins. So do we need to take any further action on Marbury Gates? We already have established everything, so we will do the pins as already passed last year in the executive committee, and we will continue the Marbury Gates as present. Any further discussion? Randy?
This will go in the packet going out to the membership.
So the 50-year pin information will go out to the membership for the convention to award. Okay. So we will notify those further. Mr. Vice President.
One question, Mr. Chairman. I understand separate pin, no connection whatsoever with the Mulberry Gates. I think that's a tremendous idea. My question is, in regard to the plaques, will the nominees for the Mulberry Gates Award still get their plaque like we did in the old days? Yeah, okay. Thank you.
So to be clear, no change on the Marbury Gates. That's being handled as it has in the past.
He's just getting
At a
older.
formal submission, Marbury Gates will get the plaque and and a pin and everything you do. And anyone that is submitted for 50 years will get a 50-year pin. Kate? Not yet, okay. Mr. President?
We're going to look at doing online submissions for some folks because that certainly makes it a lot easier when folks are sitting there,
The
type
award-
in, they can submit stuff
All-
on them.
Everything is, at the present time, capable of being submitted online. If somebody would just drop me an email indicating, hey, I want to put X number of people in for the 50-year pin, that's perfectly fine. That's what a lot of these have done on this. But far as a nomination, they still need to write up the letter for the Mulberry Gates. They still need to submit a letter and resume type form of why the individual should deserve to be nominated or should receive the Mulberry Gates Award.
I understand that, but can they submit that all online?
Yes.
Writing paper, okay.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure, because that makes it easier for folks. Why it's awards time, all they have to do is change the name and, from their department to MSFA, and it makes it easy and wordsmith, and, we need to migrate stuff more to the electronic format that makes it easier for folks. I know some of us still have some difficulty with that, and I realize that, but we've really got to start migrating from paper and pencil to electronic. It just makes it easier.
Okay, I think we're clear on that. Anything further on that? Any other, Hall of Fame?
You're still on stone tablets over here. I'm sorry. There's an
Hall of
exception.
Fame committee, the only thing I know of is Charlie Abrake wants to make sure everybody understands that the submission, one of the criteria is activity within MSFA. That is actually one, because he's had some comments about people that have been submitted 2 or 3 times, but they have zero activity. They don't put anything down, not even delegate to the state association. So make sure your counties are aware that some form of activity at MSFA is a criteria of the Maryland State Firemen Association Hall of Fame. So, Doyle, anything else on that?
No, yes. I'll just add a last comment on the Hall of Fame is, and the committee, the first thing that they look at when they're looking at the nomination for the Hall of Fame is, as the chairman indicated, if they don't have anything in there about MSFA, goes in a separate pile, and it would be on the bottom of the entire list.
And the only other part, Bobby, anything else on Schreimer? We're okay on that? Very good. Anything else on awards, Mr. Secretary? Very good. Moving forward, any other questions for any of the awards? Moving forward, information technology, Richard and Chris, thank you for your good and hard work. Anything else? Thank you, guys. We appreciate it. Administrative branch, Constitution and bylaws at this point. Chief Woods, anything? Lee's chairman. That's right. I'm sorry. I have him last year's. Sorry about that, Lee.
All right. I didn't realize I was chairman. I was under the assumption that Gary Keller was chairman. But Gary Keller and I have been talking. We have, as of this point, not received any submissions of Constitution bylaw changes. We have spoken quite a few times about the name change, so we are prepared if we are instructed by the executive committee to write that change. So that's all I have to say about that.
The executive committee has passed that motion, and at this point, we would direct them to go ahead and put the change together for submission, bring back in April for final. Well, no, it's before April because the submission's done. So
we will do that.
And we need to change. The submission will actually change all the places within the Constitution. Also, it's just not an amendment to make the change, but they're going to go ahead and go ahead and clarify all the areas within the Constitution and bylaws that would
Yeah,
require the name change.
I've been looking through the Constitution to
Correct.
make sure we get everything covered.
It's within 90 days of the convention, so what did we come up with? Roger, would you have March
It's like
19th?
the last week in March.
Yeah,
90.
March 18th, March 19th, something of that nature. Yep. Yep, so that'll be handled by the Constitutional Bylaws Committee as directed, March 19th, as directed by the Executive Committee. Thank you, Lee. Anything else?
Nope.
Very good. Laura, Sergeant of Arms, anything? Yeah, you're here, right? Thank you very much. Strategic Initiative, Steve, anything with respect to that committee? Okay. Or Strategic Planning, excuse me. Past Presidents Committee, Roger, anything? Risk Management Committee, the OSHA. OSHA, we heard about that yesterday. I will be submitting comments that we have done already about 5 years ago. I'll just pull that back out and bring it up to date on behalf of the association, the Maryland State Firemen Association, regarding those comments for OSHA. And as they was stated earlier, essentially what they're doing is making NFPA code law. So it won't just be a consensus standard, it'll be incorporated into OSHA law. So that's what we're really concerned about. Okay, Public Information Branch, Ronnie did his, we're through that one. We're down to Membership Benefits Branch, buddy. Let's see, we got John Denver. I know John was here. You come up on Next Generation, and Jonathan's not here in recruitment. I think he submitted a report. Scholarship will be next. He gave the trumpet report yesterday. Oh, you gave yours yesterday? That's right, I didn't check you off, John. I'm sorry, I had you up with the other one. And Jonathan submitted his. Lynn, it looks like we're up to scholarship.
Hello, I filed my report, but I had a few things that I wanted to highlight. The committee met. We're looking into investing the money we received from the Maryland Survivor Scholarship. The scholarship application process is open right now. We've updated the link for the Charles Raleigh Scholarship because it wasn't working at first. And currently we're working on a donation program for scholarships, and we hope to have it completed in the next couple of weeks. Do you have any questions?
Any questions for scholarship? Thank you for everything, Lynn. Thank you, Albert. Okay, Attorney Mike's not here. Wheels for Heroes, I know they're available. We work with them. Anybody from LoSAP or incentive committees? Any other committees that were not called or need a report, or any ex officio members, or? Okay, looks like we're through the committees. Any old business, any additional action items that we need to address that have not already been addressed earlier? Yeah, Mike, you're looking at the clock. We're probably, yeah. We were pushing for 11. We're going to be pretty close, maybe a little ahead. Any other old business? Calling one more time for any other old business. Any new business to come before the association?
Yes, sir.
New business.
Yes, sir. Just one question. Sitting here yesterday, I'm looking at our invited guests. Am I talking? Yes, I'm talking. I was looking at our invited guests, and they come in here business casual, shirts, ties, they're dressed. And we're sitting in here, or they're actually dressed, we're sitting in here business casual, open shirts. Don't take wrong, I'm just going to use a, we could be sitting in here in a t-shirt and a pair of jeans. I think that's rather disrespectful. But on Sundays, we come in here and we are dressed, and 2/3 of the people, not disrespecting who's here, but 2/3 of the people and most of our invited guests are not here. I was talking with past President Cox here, and I'm like, am I seeing this wrong, or are we doing something backwards? Why are we not dressed to show respect for our invited guests? That would be my question to the chair.
And I'll defer that to the presidents, because it's always been the presidents set the order of the day.
I'm dressed either way, so I'm dressed either way. I don't have a problem with that, and I think you're right. I think we represent 360 plus departments. You know, this is our business meeting, and you know, out of respect of our partners, I don't have a problem with shirt and tie both days. You know, I want folks to be comfortable, but we represent 300 plus departments across the state. We want to meet 4 times a year, so I don't have a problem with that. If we want to say shirt and tie both days, I'm okay with it. So, and we can start at the next one.
I'm glad you're saying shirt and tie and not bow tie.
There's always an exception to the rule. So, but his time is coming, and I'm getting pushed out. But so for my brother from another mother here, I will say that next when we go to Grantsville, it's bow tie Sunday. So, you know, it's coming, so we might as well start. So our next meeting, before I even get to my follow-ups, while we're here, bow tie Sunday.
Can you also address kilts or no kilts? No, that's
You know,
only.
he's been trying to do that with Charlie and I for a year, and I told him if he could convince Charlie of that.
And the good part of our conversation, it woke him up and he's now standing.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, he's already got his green bow tie for St. Patrick's Day, if you didn't see it on the table here yesterday, but he didn't wear it. But no, I'm okay with that. I think what Chief Phelps brought up and Steve is very commendable. I think we should do that. I know we did that for a little bit before I got here, and we kind of digressed a little bit. So let's just continue with it, shirt and tie both days, and keep it moving.
Very good, Mr. President. As directed by the President, we will be coat and tie both days. And
Shirt
no
and
coat.
pants.
Okay.
Shirt and pants.
Shirt and tie, coat optional. Very good. A shirt and tie, coat optional. Pants are not optional. Well, have to have pants. Kilts are not optional. Okay. Mr. Vice President, would you like to have a few words?
Yes, I would.
I thought you would.
I agree wholeheartedly with Chief Phillips' idea. I would go one step further. When we appear before a committee in Annapolis, I think we should be in dress uniform, Class A. Simple reason, dressed like I am now, everybody wears these things nowadays, whether you're selling Coca-Cola or whatever. So you got to be up, if you're like some of us in this room, which most of us are wearing glasses, you got to be up close. If you're in a uniform, and I'll use the president's former employee, MSP, when they show up, they're all wearing their uniforms. You know who they are. When we show up like this, we could regularly be civilians. I think in a Class A, when we show up for our hearing, like the last 2 we had, is good. I wear a bow tie too, past President Cox, because a very good friend of mine always wore them, Dr. Robert Adkins, and I wear them to honor him because he was a hell of a man. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President.
Thank you, my brother.
Chief Cox.
Just years ago, the emblem was very much recognized because we were the only ones in Annapolis, and we had the red ones with the big embroidered seal. And at that time, it was very easy for everyone to recognize that's MSFA. But as the first Vice President indicated, a lot of people are wearing them now.
Just to add on to your comment, reference the red bullion with the embroidered seal and so on. In the past several years, the president always received one of those when he is installed. I was just informed last week that those are no longer available. So we will be back to the plain, clear ones.
Very good. I think we had a good conversation. Chief Phillips, thank you for that suggestion. Go ahead, sir.
I have one other question. There was a question here about wearing kilts. Now, I understand a kilt, and you wear a kilt, and a man walks around, kilts on his legs. But some of our higher-ranking administrators here have got a third leg that they work with. How does a kilt work with 3 legs? I don't understand this.
I need to remind everybody this is a family show and a family event, so
It depends on the length.
boy, we're getting close to the end. We could tell. That's a shillelagh. Okay, moving right along, sports fans. Yes, it is. It's getting harder all the time. Okay, is there anything else under new business that is pertinent to the existence of this association? Hearing none, anything else for the good of the order? Okay, we'll go around to the executive committee members. Mr. Block, any comments?
Good morning. Is this mic working? Thank you. First, I'd like to thank our host, Pocomoke City Volunteer Fire Department, for a great weekend. This is a great facility. We really appreciate your hospitality. I'll also bring greetings from Victor Henderson, the president of the Anne Arundel County Volunteer Firefighters Association, its members and officers. Go to the order. I met with John Gatton the other day. Several of you asked me if I talked to him lately. John Gatton from the Hollywood Fire Department, past member of the VCAF committee. He sends his greetings to all of us. He's sorry he couldn't be here, but he's just not able to get around as much as he used to. He wanted me to mention, though, that he is still collecting patches. And he gave me a handful of business cards. Anybody needs his contact information, so see me afterwards, and I've got that. And speaking of patches, I'm collecting patches for a friend of mine who has a friend in Fort Myers Beach, Florida, whose restaurant was destroyed last year in the hurricane. She had 3 stores. One of them was fully adorned with fire patches from all over the world. They're trying to rebuild the collection. So if you can get me a patch, I'll deliver it to my friend in Florida, and she can deliver it to that store owner. And Roger, I'd like to just congratulate you on a nice tie today. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Block. Mr. Cox.
Thank you. Again, thank you to Pocomoke for your hospitality. This is a wonderful place to have a meeting. Bring you greetings from the 3 associations I represent, Harford County, Harford Cecil, and Cecil County. They continue to meet in person. Harford and Cecil meet monthly. Harford Cecil meets every other month, and we're just moving along.
Very good. Thank you, Steve. Chief Phillips.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Welcome to everybody from greetings from Dorchester and Talbot counties. First thing is Dorchester County President Sam Yockey will be having a meeting tomorrow night on the 5th. It's at 1900 hours. Station 1 in Cambridge. If anybody would like to attend the meeting by Zoom, I'll be glad to send you the link. Talbot County will be meeting on Wednesday the 14th. I don't know which station that is. I forget now. But anyhow, we'll be meeting at 7 o'clock somewhere. And both counties are live. Both counties have also have a video option if you can't make it there. So we're moving right along. We've got the same issues we always have, trying to get enough people there, get enough people interested. I do make sure every time we speak that pertinent information from this body is taken back to them, and I try to bring back from them to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Phillips. Mr. Fowles.
Good morning. First off, greetings from the Caroline and Queen Anne's Counties Associations. I know that most people try to get out and do some politicking at their association meetings. Kent and Queen Anne has cut it back to only two meetings a year, one in May and one in November. So it's kind of tough there. Kent County has their Chiefs meetings on Friday evenings or Wednesday evenings, depending on what time it is, and I will, anybody's interested, please get in touch with me and I'll find out when those dates are. Queen Anne's County Fire and EMS Commission, which I'm chairman of, we meet the first Thursday of every month at 6:30 right across from Queen Anne's County High School. So if you're more than welcome to come, just let me know and I'll put you on the agenda. And Caroline County, they have theirs when they have them, and there's no rhyme or reason. The last 5 I've tried to go to, they've canceled. So it's still a work in progress. I'm still trying to get things out to my members, but it's getting to the point where I'm gonna have to go to station to introduce myself and to meet with them, because Caroline County doesn't. Some of them don't even know who their representative is. Now I want to thank Pocomoke City Fire Company for their generosity and having a great weekend at this beautiful firehouse. I've been taking pictures and sending them back to my station with the hall and everything like that. It really looks nice, and we have a decent hall, but I mean this foyer is unbelievable. Also, I want to thank Mr. Phillips here next to me. This is my first year going over to the legislative committee, and sometimes I feel like I'm asking some questions that I shouldn't have to ask, and he's always been right there and answered them and told me never to be afraid, and he's leading me on the do's and don'ts in Annapolis. And I also want to thank the MSFA president and vice presidents for their support with this being my first year. I'm trying to do right by you all and with the committees and everything, so thank you again. And that's all I have. Thank you.
And thank you for your attendance, and we appreciate everything you do, man. Go ahead, Bob. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. I'm very sorry, I forgot to bring this up. Following this meeting, any of you that would like to stay on the Eastern Shore for a little while longer, about 20 miles south of us is a fire company called Parksley Volunteer Fire Company. They are hosting the meeting of the Delmarva Volunteer Firemen's Association today. Committee meetings are at 12 o'clock. The general meeting starts at 1 o'clock. And I think it'd be pretty neat if anybody wanted to go down there and visit with that association. I'm a past president. My lady friend, Kathy, if she's around in here somewhere, she happens to be the president of the ladies auxiliary of the Delmarva. I understand maybe the president might be easing a little south with us. Yeah, you go ahead and shake your head. Yes, yeah, okay. And Mr. Bob Cumberland is going down. He's going to join us down there. Just wanted to pass that on. Yes, our convention it's going to be in Trapp, Maryland. The dates will be Thursday night. We have meet and greets, and we sit around and swap tales and tell lies. Friday and Saturday we have our business meetings, and that will be in Trapp, Maryland. Yes, sir. I just told you it'd be Friday the 3rd and Saturday the 4th. Did I not say that? I was testing to see if you were paying attention. You get a check mark. Thank you.
Roger was awake. Randy?
Try to get in 3 times the charm. Good morning, everyone. Even though it's the same time period, we meet on the weekend, but this weekend we've had a lot to unpack. So let's start with Friday. Friday evening, I want to thank the LeCompte family and the Discovery Museum for the wonderful reception and the artifacts and stuff in the museum and everything. It's just different and changed. It was real good. And the hospitality, we really appreciate that. I bring you greetings from President Pat Hassler, President of the Southern Maryland Volunteer Firemen's Association. We appreciate everything that everybody, all the committees and the officers do for their members. I definitely want to thank the presidents for traveling from one side of the Maryland to the other side to come down and show their support and meet with us. and basically only a phone call away when I call them. So we appreciate that. I guess we'll have to work on some new accommodations for a couple of the cats and to make sure they make it through their terms. But we're willing to do that, put some wheelchair ramps and some, ADA extra stuff to make sure that they can get in and out okay. As far as myself and support, I like to, I'm still learning. I like to, with Doyle or the Stevens family, and even with Dale coming on board, we try to represent in Southern Maryland the best we can. We try to enlist some more people because we look around the room, the average age of all of us officers are probably well in our AARP. And if we haven't hit the Social Security age, we're bumping on the door. So we need to do our part to bring in some more people. And not only bring in more people, but let them know that it's an openness for them to serve. I think people have a view that they're kind of hesitant because they think it's only for, us and stuff like that, not for them. So we need to work on that and do a better job with the recruitment stuff. And I believe in bring one and teach one, so we need to take that model, and that way we won't lift the burden that us individuals have to carry, and also we're doing our part to leave the association in a better hand. Okay. Dole of all people told me my 2 minutes was up. Thank you. I'll pay him back tomorrow.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Thank you for the comments. And we did have a few new ones yesterday. I was really good, and we need to continue that. So, Mr. Sutton.
Third's a charm, Randy. Pocomoke City, thank you. This is an unbelievable firehouse. I hope the next time I come back, I'll take some piano lessons so I can play the piano out front. Beautiful apparatus, great, and I tell you, just the hospitality up and down 113 and 13 to get here, thank you. I just want to pass on a little bit about Laytonsville. Almost 61 years ago, probably the only one here that would remember would be Chip, the Laytonsville. Skip. Laytonsville's firehouse burned to the ground. And within less than 24 hours of that tragic event, the Laytonsville District Volunteer Fire Department was once serving this community. And it was because of Gaithersburg, Washington Grove said, here, take an ambulance. Sandy Spring Volunteer Fire Department said, here, 1947 Mac, nicknamed Pearl. Within less than 24 hours, we were up serving the community of Laytonsville again as volunteers. Something that we all can be proud of, the volunteer system in this state is alive and well. I might be the youngest one here, right? But I can tell you, each and every one of you mean a lot to me. Each and one of you have given me the inspiration to move forward. I took this position when Jim Seavey was really sick, and that there alone was a huge seat to fill, and I hope I've done that well. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for a great weekend. Thank you, everybody, for a great weekend of leadership. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy. Dale?
Don't say he's younger than you, buddy.
Greetings from Washington County, and I'd also like to echo all the comments of the great hospitality and the wonderful facility. And I think this is where we're at is a very successful story of them making use of a building that probably would have sat abandoned in their community. And in my career, I see that a lot. So fire service made good use of this facility, and what a wonderful facility. Again, greetings from Washington County. We continue to move forward in our building of a combination system. I was at our career recruit class 5 graduation this past week, and it's what everybody's gone through. We're hiring our own volunteers. So that becomes a difficulty in backfilling that task as we look to recruitment and retention. However, I would like to tell you something we've celebrated with our retention programs in Washington County. When I came on as the president of the association, we started a really robust retention program where we are incentivizing pay per call. We're training incentives. We even incentivize you to go get your physical. If you go get your physical, you get a $25 gift card. I budgeted 3 years ago for $300,000 for that in request of support from the county government. This year's request is going to be $400,000 because we have incentivized that much. So it is a good retention. I'll be happy to share those information with anybody around the state. It is working well. We have plateaued on our retention. We're not losing people like we used to. I say that cautiously because in the back of my mind, I believe people are just signing up for the incentives now where they were a little reluctant in the beginning. So I'll tell you whether that's working probably 5 years into the program. But I do believe it is working, and it's a good program, and we need to look at how we can do that to retain volunteers, not only across the state but across the nation, because recruiting is one thing, but retaining what you have is after you invest talent and training and let them walk out of the door is a bigger issue. So I've taken enough time. Great meeting this weekend. I think we've accomplished a lot, and it's a joy to be back on the executive committee after many, many years.
Thank you, Dale. Lee?
Good morning. I'm bringing you greetings from Prince George's County. I'd like to thank Pocomoke City. This is an absolutely spectacular venue. It's great. I love the hospitality we've been shown here. I think the committee did a lot of work, and I appreciate all the leadership. Now to something that's not exactly a ringing endorsement for the volunteers. As most of you know and have seen on the news, in some form or another, we had a problem at Beltsville. They're removing the career staff out of Beltsville. The chief says she will bring them back. I say to you this: don't bet your life on it. And it takes a lot for me to say that, but this is the way I feel, and I know this is the way most of the people in Prince George's County feel. We're being attacked from all sides by this fire chief. Ambulance billing money that we were forced to sign an agreement back in 2008, splitting it 25% 4 ways: driver, aid person, ownership of the vehicle, and then the 25% went to maintenance, fuel, and administrative costs. The fire chief has now submitted a general order that would make that 20%, taking an additional 15% away from the volunteers. With the price of apparatus going the way it is, it's going to get harder and harder for us to afford it. But she is intent on taking it away, and as of October the 1st, 2023, we are not allowed to use any of the ambulance billing funds to purchase new apparatus when this goes into effect the fiscal year July 1st, 2024. Getting people on the floor. They have to pass a background check. They have to take a physical. This takes anywhere from 6 months to a year. People are leaving Prince George's County, volunteer people are leaving Prince George's County at an astounding rate. Companies who were very active as volunteers are down to even below minimum standards. It's unacceptable. The fire chief's stated goal is to make Prince George's County a shining example of what can be. I tell you this, it's not a shining example. It's just caused greater and greater anger and distension between the volunteer system and the career system. I believe they've taken a long-term view to try and crush the volunteers out of Prince George's County. With that being said, we also have a discipline problem. The big problem with discipline is there is no appeal process. The chief hands out the discipline, and the only appeal is to the chief. So we attempted to get an appeal process in place. She thumbed it down, and as most people know who know Prince George's County, it's in a general order, and the chief has the sole deciding vote as to what happens. So we're fighting that. But enough of the bad part, because most of you know that it's bad in Prince George's County. And I tell you this personally, I have never seen a county so anti-volunteer in my life, and I've been a member of Glendale for 58 years. It's terrible. So we're fighting for our volunteer lives in Prince George's County. Keep us in your thoughts. We're continuing. We will be deciding when and where our tribute will be. As most of you know, we have a tribute. It's usually in October. We're trying to figure out a way to get it moved so that it doesn't coincide with so many other things in October. And our convention will be in September. It will be our 102nd anniversary convention. It will be the week of the 23rd through the 28th. Another little sidelight on that, there will more than likely not be a parade because the fire chief has pretty much thumbed down on that also. So anyway, I enjoy being on this committee. I enjoy working with every one of you here, and I applaud everything that you do. Thank you.
Thank you, Lee. Mr. Bilger.
Thank you. I bring you greetings from Sue Mott, President of Carroll County. I'd also ask all of you to remember Mickey Day. He was chief of West Friendship, and he was the president of the Howard County Association. He passed away. Please continue to remember him and his family. Howard County now meets every other month, so I have not had the opportunity to go there and determine who the new president is, but as soon as I get that information, I'll make sure it gets out. We in Carroll County continue to work through a transition into a combination department, which has its challenges. We also continue to work with the different groups that have been started, I guess, or established with that process. And there's been a lot of changes of how things operate in Carroll and who has authority to do what. So more to follow on that as we continue through the process. Howard County, as I said, they've moved to every other month meeting, but they continue to do their best and operate with the number of volunteers that they have and the stations and things like that. On a personal note, Hampstead, we continue working on our new firehouse. We're still looking to be in there by June or July of this year. Hopefully we'll be able to invite all of you to the dedication or have an opportunity to come visit with us. As it's been said so eloquently, the fire company here has done an outstanding job. When asked, they stepped up and they did what needed to be done, as we all do as volunteers. But thank you for everything. Please pass that on to your whole department and your community. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Steger.
Good morning. First, I'd like to thank Mike Dean and Pocomoke Fire Company for having us and giving us a great hospitality this weekend. Thank you. And on behalf of Worcester, Wycomico, and Somerset, I represent them as the executive committee member. And there's some challenges going on in each county, but we're moving forward, and that's the good thing. The cadet program, they're trying to get back started with the training part of it, or VOTEC part, I'll get it out in a minute. VOTEC Park in Wycomico County. They do have some cadet programs in Wycomico, but they're meeting with the school board and the county commissioners on getting that program up and running, and Dan Stevens has offered his assistance through our programs here, and so we're working on that. Worcester County has theirs operating. Somerset County, I haven't got a report back. They only meet quarterly, so I'm waiting to get some more information from them. And I'd just like to thank everybody in the audience here. It's a little late today, but we had a pretty good turnout yesterday because we represent the association. It's not our committee. It's yours. It's an association. That's what we're here for. And like what Randy said, we need to try to bring bring one person at least with you to each executive committee meeting and try to get some more people involved. We have great committees out there. Not a lot of them were represented this weekend, and we need everybody to work as a team. I'd just like to thank you and wish everybody safe travels home.
Thank you, Chief Steger. From Frederick County, first off, again, I echo Pocomoke's been wonderful, beautiful facility, and just fantastic hospitality. We appreciate it. Discovery Center, Mike, thanks for lining that up. That was a lot of fun. And buddy, you didn't notice it last night, but when you walked over there, that one otter turned around, went up, and followed you all the way around the corner. So I don't know what attracted that otter to you last night, but I wanted to make sure you were aware of it before you left.
Big man.
That's right. He knew who the boss was. Unfortunately, Tim Ganley, as you heard earlier yesterday, passed away. Tim had served on the Board of Review, gosh, Dale, 20 years after Jason stepped down. I think he's had 20, maybe he's close to 30 years on the Board of Review. Very active in Frederick, past president of our association. He was actually back in the day when we had just paid drivers. He was a paid driver of the Independent Hose Company back 50 years ago, and then retired from the Fire Academy. A couple positive things. Our county executive, when she ran for office, she was looking to decrease the age of LoSAP. She has in her budget both to decrease the age of LoSAP and also increase our benefits. So we're cautiously optimistic if it passes council, that may happen this year. And we now have a volunteer training officer, an individual hired specifically to help coordinate the training both with the county and individual companies. He's a retired captain from Frederick County, but he's been a lifetime volunteer in our association, Tim Shelton. He's an officer at the Junior Fire Company and has been for many, many years. So I think that'll be a great asset to our volunteers. So again, thank everybody here that has attended. We have a lot of dedicated people, and that's what it takes to make this association work. And Kate?
I apologize for not coming up before, but just wanted to recognize two of our SAFER coordinators that are here this weekend. We have Dale Bowen that represents Southern Maryland for our SAFER coordination, and Mike Alfieri, who is Eastern Shore. So I do appreciate them making the time to come this weekend. Also, two of the training for recruitment and retention have been coordinated by Mike for the Upper and Lower Eastern Shore for this year. So those dates will come out, and those are the MIFRE locations in both areas. Thank you so much.
Well, both of you welcome, and you're certainly welcome at every meeting. And Mike, I'll get Walter Murray to call you so he can help you. Good to see you, Mike. Thank you very much. Anything else from the executive committee? Okay, well, we got the presidents yet. We'll do the presidents? Okay, ladies, auxiliary president, you have anything?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for a very nice weekend. Thank you to the Pocomoke Fire Company for hosting this. It was very nice. It's nice to be part of this and sharing everything with you all, and hope that in any way we can help, please let us know, and we're here to serve. Thank you all.
Thank you, Madam President. Vice President Simpson, or is there any other officers you want to speak? Anybody? Okay. Vice President Simpson.
Get the other one on deck. Don't say it.
I didn't say anything, but you ought to hear these other guys.
Yeah. It'll get better. It'll get better. Okay. Hey, thank you all. Thank you all very much for excellent meeting today and yesterday as well. Especially thanks to the Pocomoke City Volunteer Fire Company for a tremendous gathering here. I mean, they're workers all over the place. Great food, great atmosphere, and it was really good. We had a lot of talk about some of the problems like today, maybe not being dressed up like we should yesterday and so on. I agree. I think yesterday probably it would have been a little more impressive. It'd be interesting to find out how we can get more people here on a Sunday and what we need to do, how we can better communicate, not only with those of us that are out there in the leadership positions doing the administration and so on of the departments, but what about the younger people? It's good to see
Dale, Mike, somebody here that's out there can relate to the younger people. I was going to do that, Kate, but you stole it from me. I noticed them here, and I thought, it'd be good to tell everybody. Yeah, we've got to get some younger people involved, and it's good to see new faces, Bill, on the committee, and all. And what can we do? Think about it. It's not we're going to make an answer here or a solution, but what can we do to kind of motivate people to get our participation level a little greater than what it was. It's sad to hear that we've got these problems going on in some of our local jurisdictions. Some of us can relate because it's kind of following suit, and just because it says combination doesn't mean that it really is. And we've got to figure out, well, how do we get the politicians, the communities to understand the volunteers are the ones that are out there making the difference. We're not just providing the fundraising and the fire engines to ride on and so on like that, but we're out there doing the job. And let's think about that and work on it and plan ahead. So thank you all. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Vice President Carey, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Great day, Dean. What can we say? We've been together too long. Great. Short and sweet. How many of you see in news media and social media today, I remember when firefighting was fun. You see that all the time. And it's a picture of a bunch of guys riding on the back step. What's fun in firefighting is what happened here this afternoon. When we can batter back and forth, like my brother here does at me, and some of the other ones at this table, white-haired and bald, do. That's the fun of fire service, and that's what fire service is the brotherhood. And this organization, and sisterhood, this organization is the epitome of that in my mind. Yeah, we've got problems all over, but we come together here. We carry on, we get the work done, and nobody goes away really mad. I think. I'm not really mad. I'm not really mad. I'm not done yet. Again, Mike, great always to come here. Thank you. Most importantly, thank you all, because without you, the association doesn't exist.
Thank you, Skip. Mr. President.
See, I get to go last, so almost last. Again, Pocomoke, thank you for the hospitality. It's been excellent. Again, please let your members and your staff know that we had a good time, and thank you for the hospitality. I got to take my hat off to Mike LeComp and his wife for the Discovery Center, as Randy mentioned. I try to do something a little different on Friday evenings or while we're here to make it a little bit of fun and do some things different. So we'll have to figure out what we're doing out west when we go out to Grantsville. I also want to remind folks or mention too that in April, Chief Phillips becomes the president of the Maryland Chiefs, so we certainly want to support their efforts. There's a couple golf tournaments where they got a golf tournament that's going to happen in Hampstead, so if you would like a golf ball or if you just want to come out and drive a golf cart, just keep it on the four wheels. I've had enough medevacs that way. Some don't want to do that, but come out and support him and their organization. I probably need to ask Ron and Steve if we got funds for a mobility ambulance. I need a little help over here. That's. But I'm going to need some help from the executive board members and our past presidents, as these guys are, all jokes aside, they're going to take care of their medical needs. There's a lot of awards banquets. So I'm one guy. I've already talked to Kate. So if you guys and gals can help me out, I'd appreciate that. So I know they're having a little difficulty getting around, and we wish them all the best in their health and when they get their ailments getting taken care of. You know, to the Ladies Auxiliary, thank you for your help, your support. It's still important for our auxiliary members around the state. We're still in that recruitment retention phase that they need help too. So I'm going to mention that they need help too. So as much as you can get out to get to the association meetings, they're open to anyone. So even if you're a little distance away, you have auxiliary members that are close, look to the association meetings and go talk about who you are and what we do. Same way here. You know, as Randy says, bring one new person. You know, and we have that. And some of our recruiters, I don't know if those guys had anything that they wanted to add to the conversation before we close, but thank you for your coming on board and helping us out. You know, that's how we grow. And yes, it is disheartening when you look at some jurisdictions that have an angst for volunteerism in our fire service. That's really disheartening. I don't know what we can do to help you in your regions, but know that MSFA is here for your support and that we can help you in any way. Please don't be afraid to reach out because we're stronger together than we are apart. And I can tell you in Annapolis with the legislative efforts, when we go as a unit just with our MMSOF, folks realize that. We're stronger together than we are apart. So as you get ready to travel home, I wish you everybody safe travels. Happy Valentine's Day. Of course, St. Patty's Day is coming up, so that'll come up before then. So if you go to Ocean City, you might want to have blinders on in case you see a guy walking in a kilt. But I want to wish you safe travels back home to your loved ones. This has been an excellent meeting this weekend. I really appreciate the efforts of our executive committee, our other committee chairs, and men and women that are working our committees. That's what makes us go forward. That's what make the wheels on the bus keep rolling. And we do an excellent job, and couldn't do it without you. So I want to say thank you, especially Kate, Lynn. Thank you guys and ladies in the office, keeping us straight. It really works out, and it really helps us out. But as I get ready to bring Chaplain Heads up to send us home, he's got a birthday coming up tomorrow, right? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He says that very hesitantly. So,
Mr. President, one real quick. I've had a couple questions. Is there any accommodations for Grantsville out yet, or where we're going?
we will get those out. We're working on those this week, so hopefully by the end of the week we'll put that out.
Okay.
So we're in the process, so that's coming. Now, one of the other comments too, especially like here, when they come out, don't wait till the last minute, because I mean, if we need to add rooms, we will. It will probably be in somewhere around Frostburg, because there's not really a whole lot out there for hotels, so you might have to travel a little bit back and forth. But we will get something out by the week's end in reference to that. So maybe before we have our invocation, I want to give Harry a birthday card to say thank you very much for that. And we wish him many more. So maybe before his invocation, we sing him happy birthday, and then we'll close it out.
And, well, we have a raffle also. Don't forget, we got big.
We have a raffle.
We got a big money.
We can do it both.
Are we ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Harry and Steve. And anybody else? Happy birthday to you. Very good. Okay, 50-50. That way you can bless the money, Harry.
thank you for your donation. The winner gets $110. That'll get you gas across the bridge. Number is 599-0093.
093. There we go.
Chaplain Long.
Sound like a little heavenly collusion here. I was just teased what I said about blessing the money, Harry. I read it all. I don't know now. Pastor Hetz.
I thank you all. As I look around the room and as I look at my family and friends, the amazing thing is everybody appears to be getting older. And so I feel like I'm in good company. I thank you. Sure.
Before you leave, lunch is provided next door, so there's a little bit of leftover, so we were going to do grab and go, but if you want to sit and partake, please, before you hit the road. Thank you.
Thank you. We've had a couple people that had been announced that have passed away, and we want to remember them as we prepare to close. If you would, and you are able, let us stand. Gracious God, your mercies are outpouring and your love is just so astounding. Father, we lift up these families of those that have had members of their families pass away. We ask that you would surround them with your comfort and your peace and your presence. Let them know that you are there to be with them. Father, there are those that are dealing with medical situations and other situations in their lives that need your intervention as well. We just ask as we prepare to leave that you would intervene in those situations and guide and direct those activities. As we prepare to leave, Lord, we ask that you would bless us as we travel. Watch over us, place a hedge of protection around us, and give us safe traveling mercies. Give your angels charge over us to go with us. Bless the food that's been prepared, and bless each one of us as we depart. We thank you for the guidance of this weekend and the discussions and the meetings and the decisions. For all these things, we praise and thank you. Amen. Amen.